Hey y'all, it's Ben with Whitetail Hollow Farms. So I'm out in one of the hoop coops today, and we have moved the baby rheas outside. They were getting a little bit too big to be in the hatchery anymore, so they are out here enjoying this coop where they've got some more space to roam. We're trying to socialize with them as much as we can. A couple of them are pretty nice, very curious at times, just like the emus. Speaking of which, there's one right there on the other side of the fence. They love to come over here and watch the babies because I guess they think that they're emus, but they are indeed rheas. So these guys are super cool. They're just not super sociable. They don't seem to be aggressive or have a problem with us, or just got to get used to us. This one right here we believe is a girl. We have not DNA sexed her yet. We've got her egg in order to actually go ahead and sex her, but we want to get that on video on how to sex their eggs. We use a company called Avian Biotech, and I think there's a couple other names that the company goes by, but they're right here in town, and we just take a little bit of the membrane out of the egg and bring it over to them, and they can tell us the sex of the bird within a couple of days just based on the membrane from the egg. So we want to video that process and show y'all how to do it. You can ship them the membrane from your egg so that they can sex yours too. So we're gonna try and get that on video so y'all can see it. But we believe this is a little girl right here. We know for a fact we have one other girl and we've got two boys, so we're hoping for 2 girls, 2 boys, which is what we believe we've got. But this one is not growing as fast as the other 3, and we're not sure why that is. She seems perfectly healthy, as you can tell. She's wandering around. Well, it is wandering around and happy and doing its thing just like everybody else, but it's just a little bit smaller. None of them quite want to let me rub on them or love on them, but I think we'll get there the more we socialize and spend time with them. And we've got an audience over here checking out the babies. But there you go, there is your rhea update. They are doing very well, and we have got 4. Oh boy, we have got the mob out here this morning. Most all of the emus. I think actually this is all of our emus out here, and the goats are patiently awaiting to be let out of the barn. Their entire pen site over there is kind of under construction. You can see with the brand new fence, which we are currently working on a video of, how we put that fence right there up, and we've still got to finish it, so we've got more to video on that fence. But Mom and I are gonna walk around this morning and create a list of what we want to work on. We just kind of came off a vacation. We don't really do vacations. We didn't even go anywhere. This week was Mom's birthday, and my grandparents came into town to come see her, so they were here for the whole weekend, and we just kind of took the weekend and beginning of the week real easy. Took a couple of days to prepare for them getting here, made the house presentable, mowed the lawn, did all the stuff, etc. You know how it is. So we kind of slacked for 5 or 6 days, but we're getting back into the swing of it. Friday right now, and our weekends are usually busy because Dad, Jed, is usually home over the weekend to help us work on projects. So we're gonna put together a list this morning of what all we've got to do, but we figured we'd take y'all along with us to see what we've got in store that we've got to get done this week and the coming weeks in order to be ready for the farm tour, because that is our main event right now, I guess you could say, is getting ready for this big 2021 Millstone Institute farm tour that we're going to be on in October. It's October 9th and 10th, and we'll have a lot more information coming soon. I think today is the 12th of August, and the booklet with all the information that they provide us with comes out on the 20th, so we'll be able to then push those booklets off to y'all and all the information on how to come out here and see us. But either way, we got a lot of work before October. Got about 2 months until that event, and we want to get this place spick and span looking nice for y'all to come out here and see us. So stick around. We're gonna go on a little bit of a tour of this place and figure out what all needs to be accomplished. You pecking my camera? Don't peck my fingers. Don't peck my fingers, Quinny. Morning, Mom.
Good morning, Ben.
So before we go out and make our plans, our list of things to do for the week, I wanted to provide a little update on Willow and Winston over here causing chaos. What are you doing, Kitty? What are you doing, Kitty? He's in a bit of a teething stage right now and is destructive. Wants to eat everything. And then we got Willow and a very big lens flare from the from the sunlight coming through the window. Hi, what are you doing?
She says, what is that thing?
She's getting more and more used to me, but she is definitely a mama's girl. When she feels uneasy, she retreats straight to her cage. But she's getting better with me. She's very happy and healthy, you can be sure of that. Come here. She is now eating solid pellet. So we've got some in here with her for her to snack on. She's also drinking quite a bit of water too. She's up to what, about 9 ounces of milk a day?
No, twice a day.
Twice a day.
She's averaging, she gets fed 3 times a day, and she averages usually between 6 and 9 ounces per bottle.
Oh, we're tip-tapping.
Yeah, it's potty time.
That's her new thing, is she squats and tip-taps her back feet when she goes pee.
That's kind of an odd position.
Yeah, she's kind of an odd position.
What are you doing?
She usually isn't down on her
that whole
front
thing's
feet.
gonna have to be changed because her potty pad's not under her.
Well, it kind of is, but now she's stepping all in it and it's all over the place. You're making a mess. So I think we're gonna try and weigh her here in a second, right?
Yeah, we can get her on the scale.
What did we get her at? What weight?
She was 5 pounds when we got her.
So we'll see what she is today. Hi, you gonna come out? How about my ear? What do you think? She likes ears. Yum.
Breakfast.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's great until her teeth get really sharp like they are now. And then she starts ripping your ear off. Hi, you cannot rip my ear off. So we're zeroed out now. And she is 13.2 pounds. Yeah,
She likes the camera.
You're getting heavy. It was 5 pounds we got her at, right?
Yep.
So she is
She's almost tripled her weight.
Yep, almost tripled her weight already.
In a month.
So she's doing pretty good, but we're gonna feed her. We've fed her before on video, so y'all know how that works. And if you want to see that, you can watch it. Should be right here, link. We're gonna cut to working on our project list. So Willow's done. She's fed. And the boys are excited over here because they got a girl visiting them.
Yeah, dude, that's your sister.
So what project have we got over here? I can see quite a few just standing here.
There's endless projects right now. We need to get all this cleared up because I think this is where we're going to put up a temporary pen for Willow. We'll probably take a couple dog kennels and put them up with some screening around them so that she has some little privacy and can't run into it, which we've had issues with other fawns in the past, tearing up their snouts and stuff with being able to run into the chain link. So we'll run a screening around the inside so she can't do that. But we need to get all the debris out of here because we'll do a temporary pen here for her, and then we'll probably convert it. And we've talked many times about putting up some sort of a shelter slash small barn area here, basically a permanent structure so that we don't have to use the kennels anymore. And we may go ahead and just build a permanent type structure in there. The next project we have is over here where we feed 2 of our emus. Kevin and Jenny get fed out of this feeder. The boy goats are in this pen with them, and they have literally pushed this panel out. We've had to double enforce it because they've literally torn the wire that we had, the 4x4 goat fencing. They've torn that up, so we reinforced it with a cattle panel, and they have literally popped the cattle panel off the posts over here. So technically, if they really wanted to, they could get out. So we're gonna go back in with some 2x4s, and we got a bunch of these dog-eared fence boards, privacy fence. We got a pallet of those at a really good price from our local hardware store, Stones. We're gonna go ahead, put the 2x4s up at 3 levels on the back side of this, and then privacy fence. We'll cut these panels down to this height so the emus can still get over, but the boys can't get to the feed. What happens is the emus will drop feed, so the boys are trying to get to that feed. We're also going to eventually move this gate where we feed the other 8 emus. I think we're gonna build build a new structure in a different location because it makes it really hard at feeding time to get in and out when you have 8 emus standing along your fence line, and this is the main fence in and out of the front pastures to feed the girls in the barn and the couple of pigs and the smaller cows that we have here. We'll look at some different options for emu feeding areas.
I think we forgot to mention earlier, this is all Hurricane Michael damage too that we've got to clean up. So this has been here a while, but
Going on 3 years.
Yeah, going on 3 years, but it's a massive mess.
We've kind of let it just decompose on its own. It's time to just totally get it out of here. This post can come down and you'll see there's a very large area here. We could build a nice sized structure to protect the animals during inclement weather.
So this is more tree damage, and you can actually see all the sticks and debris from it. You look up in the sky, you can count right here. We've got, there's some over there too.
Dude. No.
Are you getting harassed?
I am getting harassed.
Don't harass me. They're in a special mood today, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change pants if we go out. Somebody slime me.
No, no, no.
Back
Get away
off,
from
Herbs.
me.
Back off, Herbs.
Go find a girl down there somewhere. Back to where we were at, now that I don't have a goat trying to get to me. This is all some damage, and if you look up in the sky here, you can see a bunch over there, but right here is a dead pine. Right there is a dead pine. These were obviously dead pines. And this one sticking through the sweet gum is a dead pine that's leaning pretty bad. So,
Yeah, and I'm standing under
and
it.
she's standing right under it. So we can probably take that one down ourselves, but we do risk losing more fences to these pines. So this fence right here needs to be restrung. We put a cattle panel up as a temporary reinforcement so that the boys cannot get to the girls.
We'll probably build a wood fence across here like we've done.
Yes, and we
now
will.
that Ben and I are expert fence builders.
They haven't seen the fence video yet.
Oh.
That's gonna come out after this one. This one's gonna come out now.
Oh.
See, what y'all don't realize is we have like tons of footage, but I'm too lazy to sit down and edit all of it. So certain things come out before others just because of how we work on our projects, because things don't take a single day. A lot of our projects take multiple days, and we hop around from project to project. So
We get bored easily.
yeah, we get bored easily, run out of material, come up with excuses. So this is kind of an update video that's going to come out sooner than later. So some of the projects in here are...
You gotta hear them behind you.
Yeah, some of the projects in this video are in progress still, and they will come out after this one. We got to restring this entire fence, or we might build, or we might rebuild it into a wooden fence, like the one that we're going to show you all over there and have an entire video on.
I think the wooden fence would be a lot better idea.
It'll be more reinforced, that's for sure.
It'll be much more secure to keep the boys away from the girls, and we don't have accidents happen.
Yes. So here's a completed project that we actually have a video up of, turning this old deer stand into a goat barn. That'll be linked up here, maybe, if YouTube will let me. So this has been working fantastic. The boys love it under here, and they're able to munch away at their dinner at night, and they have a way to keep out of the weather now. So Mom's going to check on Addie because she's in the yard barking. But now we are on the other side of the goat pasture. The hatchery is over there. We're on the other side. So this is a thick wooded area here that we've got some electric netting all the way around. And we have been trying to let the girls in here during the day, the girl goat, and they seem to have no interest in going in there to browse when they have a massive roll of hay sitting in their pasture all day long. So about 2 weeks ago, we went ahead and bought I think that's a 14-foot gate, and we bought posts to make an H-brace here. So right here, somewhere in the general vicinity between the two pastures here, we are going to cut in an H-brace and a gate so that we can bring the tractor in here. Got to get this tree, another dead pine, out of the way that's fallen. But we're going to put a gate in here so that we have access to this pasture, and so that we can let the boy goats out there in that wooded area with the electric fence around it. That'll give them something to browse on and keep them busy during the day. So that's another project for the list. And I think that's the next one we're going to work on, is getting this fence in, because it really needs to be done. So while we're back here, what's Dad's project this weekend? Why is there a hole in the ground right there?
And that is the pipe that runs out of the hatchery from the sink. And that has been the way we've been draining the water from the sink. So we're going to add in an actual line to a big IBC tote, and then it's extended drain field.
The dad's got some digging to do this weekend, and we're gonna hold him to that, try and get that project done. So this is,
so we don't have a hole in the driveway.
yeah, so we don't have a hole in the driveway, and when the farm tour comes around, we'll be able to bring people in here without falling in a hole. So this is approximately where I think we're gonna put the tote and the drain field, somewhere in here. He went and got a bunch of pipe a couple days ago. We're gonna clear this back a little bit more, I think, and level this area out to the fence line. That's the neighbor's property on that side of the trees over there, but we pretty much own just past that tree behind the hatchery right there is our property line. So we're going to clear all the way up to the property line, and eventually we'll have a privacy fence there too, possibly, but that is a further down the road project. But this weekend we are definitely going to have to get the septic tank done because it needs to be done. Another non-immediate fence that needs to be fixed is this one right here. You can see where a pine came crashing down on it, messed up the T-post, made a pretty big bend in the fence. Didn't get whacked as bad as the other one, but lots of debris laying in here, so this one's got to be cleaned out too. And we'll probably clean out some of this grapevine that's growing on top of Bonnie's fence. Hi Bonnie, what are you doing? We got Miss Piggy living with her. So yet another fence. That's our big thing right now, fences. Lots of fence work. Pretty much determined that if you're gonna run a farm, you gotta have sturdy fences, and they gotta look good, and they gotta hold animals in. I think our whole farm would probably fall apart if we did not have fences. What do you think?
Yeah, trees die. That one needs to be cut. Hi, babe. How you doing? Hi, Mama. How you doing? Hi. I know, Miss P's here, and that makes you nervous.
So I think we're gonna highlight this area a lot more in our video about fencing, because we got a video where we're redoing that fence up there towards the goat barn. So I think we're gonna highlight our whole system here. But this area right here, we're gonna reconfigure. And I think, hi Hoovie, what are you doing? I think we're gonna pull the old kennel out that's over there and create a new path directly from the door at the house over there over here towards the hatchery, so we don't have to walk all the way around the pens, and we'll be able to just have a straight shot towards the hatchery when that's where we need to go. That and this fence right here that Hoover is enclosed by has seen better days. If you look at it, not exactly straight, so there's probably between the H brace over there and this pole, I bet you a good 3 foot difference. So nothing here is straight. Everything needs to be lined back up and reorganized. And this fence does not hold Hoover in very well. So the entire chain link fence, all this is going to come out and be redone. Hopefully before the farm tour. That's the idea.
No guarantees,
yes.
But we'll do our best. It's all a matter of how much we can physically do.
Physically do and afford to do. When we do that, we're hoping to have an area for the walk-through gate as well. So you can see where this used to be 2 different pens, and the pigs just ripped down the cattle panel that was here. Cattle panels just don't hold in destructive piggies very well. So what we're thinking about doing is 12 by 12 pens here all the way down to where the new goat fence is going to be. I'm not sure exactly how deep these are right now, but I do know it'll gain us.
16 foot deep.
Yeah, they're 16 foot deep right now.
Of a cattle panel.
Yeah, so they're 16 foot deep, and we'll be cutting them back to 12. The pigs really don't need that much room, and the idea with us going regenerative and getting some new pastures in is these guys will be able to be on pasture most of the time and not in these dry lot pens. We really don't like this dry lot pen system where they're just getting
basically birthing pens,
yes.
And that's about it.
Yeah, these will be new birthing pens, and it'll just be for mamas and sickly animals. Not that we deal with that a whole lot, but when we do have somebody who's feeling under the weather, we can stick them in here and they'll have a safe space to recover and recoup.
Does that feel good, big guy?
But all these pens right here are going to get reconfigured, redesigned, and as we do the chain link fencing along the back, we'll figure out where we really are as far as putting in pens and how many we can fit. And we're just going to, I think, sort of wing it. We're going to wing that part.
We'll measure as we go.
Yeah, we will measure as we go and see how many 12 by 12 pens we can fit. Somewhere right in here will be the new start of the pens as we go.
We're going to work from the other end of the property and come down. We'll set our gate, and depending on where our gate ends, we'll go off 12 feet and then start again with.
So we'll have a new little green space area here that will give us some more access behind the hatchery here with a tractor, because that's another project we've got. Might be able to see some stumps back in here behind the hatchery right on our property line. When Dad built this new roof off of the hatchery,
we left the overhang for budgets, or for buckets, but then we couldn't get the big tractor in.
Yeah, we can no longer fit the backhoe in there to get to those stumps and dig them out. We will hopefully create kind of a new green space here where we can fit a tractor in behind, and we might be able to store pallets of feed or whatever else back here with the tractor as well. So between the oak tree and all the roots and the overhang, it gets pretty hard to fit a tractor back in there right now. Here's another project, and this will probably be a never-ending one, is this cross fence right here has become a fan favorite for rubbing up against. So they have taken pretty much all of the clips off the fence, and they've actually broken it in a couple of spots here. So we're probably going to need some new wire up here, or we might end up building a wooden fence there.
We might.
We'll see, but this cross fence needs to at least have some new clips put on it, and you got some new clips, didn't you?
I got some great new clips.
Called Lockjaws,
yeah,
aren't they?
They're Lockjaw clips. Haven't used a whole lot of them yet. That's why I haven't talked about them a whole lot, but the few that I have put on have been really great. It's a project that I can actually do on my own and not have to have the guys help me with.
And we're not sponsored by Lockjaws, but if somebody from Lockjaws sees this, we'd love to feature your products in some of our videos. That'd be pretty fun. Hey, what are you doing, Queenie? So we're gonna have a full video on this right here. This is our new fencing project that we started before Nana and Papa came into town about a week ago, right?
Yep, about a week ago. We had to take a hiatus.
Yes, so we've taken a hiatus on this, and the goats have had access to the little paddock area where supposed
used to be grass.
Used to be grass, and they've killed off most of the grass, but this paddock was here.
Loading zone.
Yes, it was intended to be a loading zone for when we brought animals in and out on the horse trailer. Yes, we very rarely do it, but when we decide to do it, it's here and it works. So there will be a full video on this fence. We'll kind of highlight it here for a minute though. This is not the final design for this fence whatsoever. These boards, we didn't know how to cut them properly to create, well, it's hard to see from here. If you look over a fence or two there, you can see the garden fence back there, the wooden garden fence with the cross members on it. Mom and I did not know how to figure out how to do those cross members, but I built something the other day, which I'll do a video on and we won't focus on in this one. But I built something the other day where I figured out how to use a speed square and how to create angles on a fence. So we are going to take these middle sections, these two middle boards out, and create cross members. These are 6-foot sections, so we'll have cross members all the way down it. Yes. Cross fences all the way down here, and it'll look similar to our garden. It'll look nice and pretty. That'll look nice when it's all said and done. Yes, and the girls are happy. They like this fence. At night, we've noticed that they lay up against it. They sort of feel secure. We've still got to put the woven wire on it because we've got, this is what, 2x4 wire? Yep, so we've got 2x4 wire here that's going to go on the outside edge. And on the inside of the fence, there's a reason that we went down to 1x4 on the end. This whole barn area, whole property slopes down as you come into it, and there was a massive gap that was created from the beginning of the fence here to the end down there. So we had to cover up that gap somehow, so we put another 2x6 at the bottom, and we put a 1x4 down here because there just wasn't room to put a 2x6 there, and it'll all eventually kind of cover itself over time. I hate to cover over any board. That's kind of where we're at with that. We're gonna hang this gate probably tomorrow. We'll get back to working on this tomorrow. What do you think? So we're gonna hang this gate here and figure out where our next posts have to be on this side. We're gonna put in an H brace right here to hang this gate off of, because right now it's hanging on that side. It nose dives down. Doesn't look good. It's not practical, and we can't leave a big gap right here. So this whole section is gonna get moved back. We'll put an H brace here, and the big 14-foot gate will hang off of an H brace on this side. The way that this barn was built at an angle, we didn't actually build this barn. We hired somebody to do it. It's built at an angle to the road, and everything else on the property, it's not straight, so it creates a bit of a gap as you come down here. So that's why we're gonna have to put sort of an H brace there, and it'll support the gate a little bit better. We're trying to move away from chain link fencing and cattle panels because the animals just rip up these cattle panels and T-posts so easily. The woven wire that we've got, the field fencing, it holds up pretty well as long as it's done right, and none of ours was done right. The guy that we hired to come out here and do all of the woven wire fencing put all the fencing on the outside, which is a very, very big mistake when you've got animals in it. Hopefully y'all can learn from our mistake. We didn't know that he was installing it wrong at the time. We didn't know any better. If we'd have known, we would have told. What happens with these woven wire fences being on the outside of the T-posts is you can see it most of the way on these fences is the animals come along and they rub up against it and it busts the clips off and it makes an absolute mess. So they'll bust right through these fences over time. The fences lose their integrity pretty quick. The best way to do it is actually put the wire on the inside. The T-posts need to be facing the other direction. So over time, we are probably going to go back in and fix all of that. Right now, we've got hot wire along the bottom to keep the goats from trying to slip out into the road and everywhere else. They still rub along it. They still bust all the clips. So right now, we're going through a lot of clips and we keep having to patch wire back together. So there's yet another project, fixing all of the woven wire on the top. So that's going to be the gate latch for this new gate. This gate and all this right here is going to go. We're putting a new gate so that we don't have to take this one down yet. But once this is all finished, we will take down this gate and that fence. And you can see all that in the video where we actually show us cutting the boards and making the fence. Two sections here are going to come off. Cross members in, wire on the outside, and this fence will be done. You can see just how bad our chain link is getting. We lost all the tension on it. We had tree stumps grow through it a long time ago, and it's just a wavy, awful mess right now. That's going to come out and look like a wooden fence, or be a wooden fence, and it'll be the style that the garden is in. So we got a whole lot done on the wagon, as you can see if you've watched our wagon video, another video that I've done. I made a part 1 of going and getting all the lumber for this and showing off the tires and everything else that we're going to do to this wagon to turn it into a nice hayride wagon for the farm tour. The guy that was going to do the welding, supposedly his truck has had numerous issues, been in the shop 4 or 5 different times in the past 3 or 4 weeks since it's been since I originally talked to him and he was out here, and pretty much he ghosted me. So seemed like a really nice guy when he came out here. Enjoyed talking to him. Seemed like he was going to get the job done, and he just hasn't shown up. So that project's been kind of put on hold, and now I'm looking for a new mobile welder. I pretty much told him yesterday that if he can't get here by the end of the weekend to work on it, I got to find somebody else. I hate to do that, especially with somebody that was as nice as him, but we got to get rolling on that project because who knows how long it's going to take to actually restore that wagon. Got the neighbor's dog over here barking, but here's another project. What's this? These are our mailboxes, aren't they?
These are our mailboxes.
They kind of move back and forth a little bit.
They kind of shift, so we're going to actually relocate them closer down to where the main driveway. They don't close because they're not solid. And we have our house mailbox and then the
office.
One of the offices, AV office. They need to be pressure washed and cleaned and relocated, and we're going to do up a nice mailbox bank. We're going to add 2 more because we actually have a couple more addresses where Ben's house is going to go and where our new home will go. So we'll add in a couple extra mailboxes and do a nice pretty mailbox bank.
See, she's trying to kick me out again, talking about my house.
Well, you want your own place,
yeah,
right?
I do, but she's trying to kick me out. So this is another one. We've got this entire front fence to replace, and we've got to clear the line.
There's ducks.
Yeah, duckies on the other side, but this whole ditch has been impossible to maintain. It just grows up so fast. So we got to get in there, mow all that, and replace the front fencing. So to give you an idea of where we are, there's the goat barn and the house that way. We're at the end of our pastures right here, and Mom has informed me just now that we're putting a gate and a culvert in right here, which I think I knew about, but it is on our project list to kind of have another alleyway here. That's the wooded area where the boys are getting their fence installed so they can, new gate installed so they can go out there. But right here, we've got some more fencing to do along the front drive. There's going to be a culvert and a gate right there.
And then replace this whole line here will end up new fencing also.
Yeah, most of these big trees have got to come out of here. A couple of them are all rotted out, so we'll have to get all those cut down. But This will be a new fence right here. That will probably be well after farm tour time that gets done. That's not a priority at the moment. This, however, is a priority. So this is our entrance right now to the office for the AV business that my dad runs, Carroll Custom Designs. If you ever need AV work in the North Florida region, you can contact him at 850-545-8679. We're licensed with the state of Florida and been in business for
16 years.
16 years now. So that's the daytime job, and hopefully the farm will be a daytime job at some point. Not quite there yet. So this is our front driveway area for that office, and where a lot of the farm activities are going to take place during the farm tour. So we're going to take some of these trees out right here. There's a persimmon in there that we're going to preserve, but we're going to take most of the small scrubbies out and put in a nice wooden fence like that's over at the goat barn in the garden right there. Redo the gate entrance, and I believe we're going to put the mailboxes over here as well.
Yeah, they'll go somewhere over here. I don't know exactly where we're going to put them yet.
But right now that big field fencing woven wire just doesn't look very appealing. Not a very beautiful driveway area. So
and it's not at all.
The gate has got to get fixed. Spiffy up this area so y'all have a nice entrance to come into when we have the tour.
We actually own all the way down to almost where that, where you can see the next mailbox down there. We'll do a permanent fence line across the front of the property here. And I don't even know what our road footage is on this, but we'll do a permanent fence to match the rest of the fence on the farm. And each of these will turn into goat paddocks. And we'll let them, since there's so much browse in there, we'll let the goats go in and
clear most of it.
And clear and browse. And we've got a really old oak tree up here that's kind of one of my favorite spots.
Got a couple of really massive stumps in here as well that need to come out.
So there's a really old oak tree that I think Ben can get right there.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see with some of the pine right there and the oak, which those will probably come out so you have a better view of the tree at some point. But there you go. Now you can see the big oak right here.
And that is an ancient oak that we have on the property that we'll clear out under, and I'd like to do probably a sitting area, gazebo, garden area around it, and we'll have pastures for the goats or other animals as we move them through as they clear areas. And we will go ahead and the house that Jed and I are planning to build will go down kind of behind this area. You can't really see it.
Yeah, from the road frontage, it's hard to see a lot of the property.
Where everything's gonna be.
It's just so grown up in here, but once you get into the property, it's pretty easy to see most of it. So we're gonna have a driveway somewhere right in here that I believe is gonna have a split where my house is gonna go back in here, and these planted pines, I think there's a bit of an opening here where you can see most of that. Yeah, right here you can see all these planted pines. We'll have a driveway somewhere right in this area where it'll go off to my house and then split off to their house. And those will be our private driveways and private property. And when we do the farm tour, y'all probably won't see our house, but
it won't be there for a few years. It's not.
Yeah, that's
probably a 3 to 5 year.
Yeah, this is a ways down the road. So this video is kind of encapsulating all of our projects, and we're probably gonna miss a couple of them as we go here, but it encapsulates near and far.
Just long range goals.
Hey y'all, thanks for sitting through this long video with us. I know it was a big one today. A lot of wandering around, just talking, etc. Hopefully the next few videos will be really punching out some projects here on the farm. So hopefully you get that we are busy people. We got a lot going on, and hopefully we're gonna have this place spick and span by the time y'all come out here for the farm tour. And those of y'all that cannot attend our farm tour October 9th and 10th, more details coming. We will be doing a video on it. We're gonna be running around with people all over the place here and trying to manage crowds and whatnot. I'm going to, and hopefully mom and dad are going to take what video they can of the event, and afterwards we'll kind of highlight how it went and what all is going on. I appreciate y'all sticking through all this with us. We're gonna try and be more consistent with the videos. I always say that, but we get so caught up with projects. Stuff happens, get lazy, etc. So hope y'all enjoyed sticking through this process with us. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to keep up to date with all the craziness that we got going on around here, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. See y'all later. Thanks for watching.